Student Ministries at Northview. Here we go again. Matthew chapter 14. God's Word, Gospel, Matthew chapter 14. Hit pause, go read it. And I want you to look, or as you read, there's two stories here that are pretty prominent in church, especially in Sunday school. But I want you to look at them and think about, is there something else that I could take away from one of these stories? All right? Be challenged. Go read. See you in a minute. All right, so in this chapter of Matthew, we have the death of John the Baptist. We have Jesus feeding the 5,000. We have Jesus and Peter walking on water as the three primary parts, with the feeding of the 5,000 and Jesus and Peter walking on water as probably the two most common stories, even from the New Testament, that we know about, that we often reference and teach on. And I wanted to look at Matthew's account of Jesus walking on water because I think there's an application piece for us in student ministries. All right, so let's take a look. Matthew 14, starting in verse 22. Matthew details this account of Jesus having taught, following the feeding of the 5,000, sends the disciples away. And then at night, he decides to approach them by walking on water. Already absolutely incredible. And as he is approaching them in this storm, it says in verse 26, when the disciples saw him walking on water, they were terrified, understandably so. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "O you of little faith, why do you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." What I was thinking about for us, we're talking summer camp, right? It's coming up. For a lot of us, summer camp is an awesome spiritual experience, getting to reconnect with Jesus in incredible ways. And I couldn't help but think we're kind of like Peter in that situation. We get to camp, we see and hear and we read and we maybe experience God doing incredible things. And we're like Peter, we're seeing this go on. We're recognizing who God is. And we're saying, Jesus, if you call me, I'm coming. Peter, if you call me, I'm going to get out of this boat and I'm going to walk to you. And so many of us have made that decision to follow Christ while at camp because we hear the voice of God saying, yes, come to me. Yes, step in to a relationship with me. And that's incredible. And it's just like Peter, all of a sudden, he's walking on water, we're walking with Jesus, and things are great. But we have this thing called a camp high, where some period of time after we get home, things start to fade. Maybe we start to hang out with friends that were bad influences before. Maybe we start to feel tempted by the same pressures that we were feeling tempted by before camp. Maybe the habits of reading our Bible that we were able to follow at camp, because it's a little more structured, when we get home, it's a little harder. For Peter, he looked around and he all of a sudden saw the wind. He saw what it was doing. He saw these waves. He realizes, oh my goodness, what have I done? Life just got real. And he begins to sink. And so many of us, after a camp or a retreat or some other marker in life, we're walking with Jesus, things are good, and then all of a sudden we look around us and we take our eyes off of him, which is exactly what happened to Peter, and we begin to sink. And we have no other choice but to cry out as Peter did, "Lord, save me." And what ends up happening is we start this cycle of every year at camp, or maybe every 6 months with a retreat and camp, or whatever it is for you personally. We begin this cycle of calling out to the Lord, saying, if you're calling me, I'm going to get out. God says, yes, I want you. I desire you. I want to be with you. And we get out of the boat. Life gets real. We get scared. We start to sink. And then we cry out to Jesus to save us again. And we begin this cycle in our lives where really what we should be doing is, after this time of getting out of the boat, yes, the storm is raging around us, but we should take heart. We should have faith that Jesus is going to take us through. In this passage, Jesus tells Peter, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And for us, when we're back home after camp or after these events, and we feel like we've had this life-changing moment with Jesus, why do we doubt? What you experience in those moments is real. The relationship that you begin with Jesus in those moments is authentic. Instead of saying, oh no, life's coming around me, I'm going to start to sink, we need to be looking at Jesus and saying, Jesus, I have faith. And then we'll begin to realize more of what the disciples say in verse 33. Truly, you are the Son of God. Let Jesus be the Son of God in your life. Call out to him. When he calls you to take a step of faith, take it. Don't worry about the storm brewing around you. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. Have faith. Be encouraged. Let's keep exploring this gospel together. Up next is Matthew 15. Hope you learned something today. Go back and read Matthew 14, see what stands out to you, and as we keep moving forward, keep learning, keep applying, keep seeking Jesus as we study this account of his life and ministry on earth.